Hi there, working woman. Do you know that you don't have to be tired all the time? Yep, it's the truth. And I'll expand some more on that in this week's Wisdom for Working Women segment. But before I do, let me introduce myself. I'm Carol Griffiths from Pathway in Nassau, Bahamas, and I help women to balance their lives, or as I like to call it, achieve life harmony. To learn more about what I do, visit our website at pathwayteam242.org. If this is your first time watching the series, please visit our YouTube channel to catch up on the previous segments in the series. And be sure to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever new content is added to the channel. And with all of that being said, I'm now going to share this week's message, which is all about you don't have to be tired all the time. Trust me, I understand what it is to be exhausted every day. Go to bed tired, wake up tired, go through the routine, and there never seeming to be sufficient time to rest enough so that you're not so tired. And let's face it, for a lot of us, even when we're resting, we're thinking about what we need to be doing. And we can't even really enjoy the rest because we're so consumed with feeling guilty for resting. Can you relate to that? I know that is something that I am recovering from. Let me put it like that. I want to say it's how I used to live, but the truth is that used to is not so far away. You know what I mean? It's like, and depending on the season that I'm in or the things that I'm dealing with, I can revert back to that going nonstop. Even if my body isn't going, my mind is constantly thinking about what to do and how to do it, figuring things out. I now consider figure out to be the F word. For me, figure it out is my profane word because the truth is, I don't need to figure things out. God already has everything figured out. So, in those seasons when I felt like there's so much to do, I just have to hit the ground running from as soon as I get out of bed. I don't have time for devotions. I don't have time for prayer, right? I can now look back and see that had I taken the time to go to God, to settle myself, settle my soul, allow God's peace to fill me up before I tackled the day, I would have had much better days. And the reason that I can say that confidently is because that's now how I live my life. I am very intentional to not jump into the day before spending time with God. And in different weeks or in different days, depending on what is going on, time with God may be 10 minutes as opposed to an hour that I can do. I can do an hour with God in the morning or even more sometimes because of the way my life is set up in this season. But even though my life is set up like that, there are still times if I have a project or I have a deadline or I'm traveling, right? Then I don't get to spend that hour, but I at least spend 5 to 10 minutes with God. God, I reverence you. God, I thank you for this day. God, I give this day to you. Please guide me to do only what is needful for today, nothing more, nothing less. That has become my daily prayer that I try to pray every day because I've realized that because I've come from a place of being such a perfectionist and such a performance oriented person and such a workaholic, right? I've been trained and conditioned to keep going, to not stop. Stopping is for losers. If you don't go at it hard all the time, you're going to get left behind. And then you look to the left or you look to the right and okay, that's my right. You look to the left, you look to the right, and you see other people that seem to be further along in life than you are, and you panic. And so it's like, oh my gosh, I need to do more. I need to work harder. And then you exhaust yourself because you're trying to run somebody else's race. Yes, there are seasons when things are happening. Your child has a recital and there are extra practices. Your child is in a tournament and there are games to go into and support them. You have a special project that's happening at work and you have to put in some overtime. You're preparing for the holidays or whatever it is. There are periods in life when we have to do more than the norm and we may be tired, more tired in those seasons. We may only get 6 hours instead of 8 hours of sleep, or we may only get 5 or 4 hours instead of our 6 hours, right? But that should not be your lifestyle of sleeping less than the required hours of sleep. These bodies of ours were designed to replenish while we sleep, to heal themselves while we sleep. Just like you turn off your computer and it goes through a reset. Have you ever noticed, like, if your computer is updating, it often says we need to restart in order for the updates to take effect. Your phone does the same thing. There is an automatic update that just happened and it requires a restart. If machines know to restart, to stop and reboot, to refresh, to renew, what do you think should be happening with you? You need to restart. You need to stop, reboot, and refresh so that you're not tired all the time. God did not create you to be an Energizer bunny who keeps going and going and going and going. Humans may tell you that's cute, that's cool, that's the only way to get ahead. It's not true. The only way to succeed at the life that God has given you is to obey the instructions that He also gives you. God has specific instructions that you should follow in order to succeed. And once you obey God's instructions for your life, you are walking in success. Whether you have the things that the world considers success or not, you are walking in success. It was the best. I think I still to this day think one of the best revelations that God ever gave me is that success equals obedience to His word. Not the money in my bank account, not the size clothing that I wear, not the number of clients that I have or the caliber of clients that I have, not the church I belong to or the connections that I have, not how many people know my name or how many followers I have in social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All of those things are nice and cute and fine. But if to get those things, you have to be exhausted, busted, and disgusted, is it really worth it? No, seriously, is it really worth it? Is it worth it? Let me ask you again. Is whatever you're so tired to achieve worth your peace, your rest, your contentment? Are they bringing you joy? Is any of it saving the world? Has any of it led someone to Christ? What's it all for? These are just some things that I think about, I've thought about. These are the questions that have caused me to reshape how I do life, to redefine what success means, to reassess how I'm living, and to choose to live in a way that brings peace and joy and fulfillment It has allowed me to not be tired all the time, to walk in the freedom that God has given me as his daughter, and to enjoy the people that I get to do life with and the things that God blesses me with, and to not feel like I have to be like a rat on a wheel, spinning my wheels all the time to get some elusive concept of what the world says is having arrived. I'm already here. I've arrived. So my encouragement for you as I close out today's segment of Wisdom for Working Women is to do the work that God has called you to do. To do the work that God requires you to do. To not beat yourself up to be this superwoman, super wife, super girl boss, and all the things that society has been telling us is the thing to run after. Run after God and allow him to show you his rhythm for your life. Move at his pace. His pace includes rest. His pace does not have you exhausted all the time. His pace says, being tired, out of style. My fellow working woman, I leave you with that nugget. Choose this day to not be tired all the time. Find out what you need to do. Find out from your maker what you need to do to not be tired all the time. Share this video with other working women that you know so that they too can be inspired to walk in the love, freedom, authenticity, and power that is available to all of us who are created in God's image. And my final prayer for you today is that God's love will free you to be the woman he created you to be, nothing more, nothing less. God bless you and enjoy the rest of your day.